Hey guys, and welcome back. We finally got our Batmans in. They were back ordered for us, but we finally got them in. So sorry for the late review. We have got the Unmasked Target exclusive. He was a Target exclusive. You could only get him from Target, gold label. He's really sweet. That head sculpt looks really cool. We'll get into that once we actually get into these figures. The back here, we've got this real sweet little silhouette comic portrait of Batman. And I think this is actually from one of the newer comics, maybe even, unless it's just original artwork, but it kind of reminds me of that one comic where Batman went through the multiverses and met all of the other Batmans. Um, but yeah, this guy, pretty sweet. It looks like they come with exactly the same things. Just like they both got like the fists. They both got the little grapple gun. They both got the batarang and everything. Then you've got, of course, just your basic with the cowl and everything. Really sweet to finally see these Keaton ones, and he does have a different artwork on the back and everything. So getting both of them, kind of fun to have them. We're going to get into them, compare them side by side, and of course, we've got the Batmobile, and we can finally get somebody in it, and I am excited for that. So, let's crack these bad boys open, pull them out, and check it out. Now then, straight out of the box, obviously we've got them both in different poses here and everything. But as you can tell, definitely just got two sets of fists now. He's got these opening hands that he's got here already attached to him. Then, like we said, the grapples, the batarangs, same accessories, same spare hands and everything. It looks like the bodies are probably exactly the same, which we are kind of hoping, because why would they be different when it's just a masked and an unmasked version? They've got these badass cloth capes. Oh my god, we need more companies to take heed. These cloth capes is where it's at. The plastic capes, not so much. But it's situational. But he's got 6 of these little bands holding him in. He's got them around both his ankles, around this one knee, and that's 3. Then he's got one around each elbow, and then around the chest. So that's your 6 on him. For him, he's got 1 around his ankle here, 1 around his knee here, 1 around his arm, 1 around his arm, 1 around his chest. And as you can see, they do leave you ample room for removing him and everything. And I feel like on the plastic cape ones with the through, they're always a lot smaller of a hole, and it's a pain in the ass to get them out. I feel like they gave him a bigger backside, but I could just be mistaking or thinking differently, because cloth doesn't take up that much room and it's not going to be a bitch to get out. But let's rip these guys out and check them out. Directly out of the packaging, this is how we got them. We just flattened them out to have a pose. We didn't really mess around with them, just why we got kind of their arms everywhere like that. We just pretty much straightened out their legs and stuff. We're going to start off with just taking a quick measurement height of these guys. And he is quite literally 7. And there he goes. And about 7 1/4, just a smidge under 7 1/2 with the height of the ears for him. Why do we keep losing focus here? Try straightening this guy back out. They look really sweet. Now, looking at them, the main difference here is with him not having a cowl, he does not have this whole piece here and everything. He has the bat symbol, and it looks like this guy underneath this still has this mold piece on him. But the interesting thing here is that is probably the only difference that I'm really spotting here right off the bat. As for difference in mold, is that, but this is also a plastic rubber piece I feel like got glued on top of the mold itself. So let's see. I want to check this out before we go any further. Oh, so there's his head and his head peg. And minor difference for coloring reasons. But is this a piece? Nope, it looks like that got molded right onto there. So yes, like that would be your difference for your two figures and everything, is that this is appears to be molded on top of here. So they did one vaguely different. They look sweet. If you want to see unmasked head on the cowl body, he looks still really sweet, and I actually kind of prefer that. But I mean, like, it is off-putting with having the rest of the cowl and not, you know what I mean. Push, push, push. Why do I feel like that's the only thing that annoys me, is that they do that sometimes with these. Having that neck exposed sucks. That's funny. Alright, enough with the goofs. Let's swap these back around. Actually, I think this guy's got a little bigger of a neck hole. If we look at this, I feel like this one has a bigger hole in it. Let's see if we can even see that. We don't even want to focus. Not important, not a big deal. It's not like you're going to really buy an unmasked version and like a masked version to swap those two around. Can't get the head back in. So starting off, we're going to take a look at this guy because he's got, I feel, the more defining features we want to see here. With the unmasked version, I think this is one of the better unmasked versions for a figure they have done. It really does scream, I'm Michael Keaton. You know, some of them a little bit iffy on if you can actually see the resemblance, you know? And then some of them also, when you get really close, you start to see that, like, brushstroke and that bad, like, patterns and stuff. Like, here, once you get super close, like, he still looks amazing. But you definitely can see, like, brushstroke patterns going on with him and everything. See if we can... My camera's literally telling me we can't focus in this close. But that's really great because I've got a lot where, like, if I get close up like that, you immediately start to see that loss of detail. And with him, you don't see that loss of detail, but you start to see, like, the closer you get to your face with him, you start to see that, like, kind of like brushstrokey pattern sitting on your shelf, sitting in your display. He's gonna look phenomenal. This is definitely probably my favorite unmasked Batman that I've seen. As far as articulation goes, he's got that full, like, whatever you want to do on that peg. Like, you know, we already seen that peg. We know how that's going to move and stuff. That's the only part that is mildly concerning to me, is that you don't, with just having that head there and everything, it's not that if you filled that in to be a full head and everything, you wouldn't get that range with him to really do everything you'd want to do with him. But at the same time, if you want to tilt his head, which granted, you're not going to tilt his head that much, more than likely, depending what you're doing, but you are getting that small gap that you can clearly see and everything. So he does got great range. Like, you know, that little head nod, perfect. That's all you really need, and that's covered. So that's the only thing to watch out for with this guy. He's got that double on the shoulder there, where he's got that inner piece, and then that shoulder piece that goes inside there. Ripped out his arm. But that gives you that extra range. Pop that back in. So the only thing I'm not liking about some of these Batmans is that some of that shoulder armor, when you try to really move that, like, elbow, it'll either be too tight and really just pop out of socket and everything, like you just seen. But I mean, that's an easy push back in, you know, like, that's nothing to really worry about whatsoever and everything, especially because he does have that extra piece there that gives him that extra range. So he's got that double for the elbow. And what I'm talking about, if we want to get specific, is this little like shoulder plate here and everything. Once you go back, it connects to that essentially, and then you try to like, because his arm could come out more, especially if you remove this piece and everything. And I might honestly do that and customize it and just like pop this piece off of one of them, see how much of a more range I'm getting. Because as you can see, it's on that back plating and everything, and it's molded to fit right in with that perfectly, which does limit how much you're going to move that arm. And see, it can go over it and not sit flush with it. But then, like, you know, it's over it, it's not flush with it. It does look a little odd when you're looking at it head on, but you do get that extra range to really get his arm up there. Cloth cape. We're moving straight onto the cloth cape because immaculate. I love the cloth cape. Like, look at this. It's lightweight, it's see-through, it feels pretty sturdy, it's on him pretty well. I do feel like I could legit just rip this off of him. And you can see that little bit from tugging on it too much. But once you actually put it how you want it, great. And with the material that it is, it would be so beyond easy to just get a paper clip, straighten it out, put it on that edge there and everything, and then just kind of sew that closed. Just kind of like that. And then you could like bend it around and like hold it wherever you wanted it and everything. You could do the, you know, outstretched pose here. Let's see if we can get him to stand because it's definitely got like that Batman-esque look. You know what I mean? It looks so nice on him. We could do a lot with this. We could throw this over him like this. We could do so much. Just so much. Anyway, back to the articulation. Sorry for the detour, but I mean, like, this guy's really cool to mess around with. We've got double elbow, like we said. We do have the hands. And before we review the cowled one, we will swap out the hands and have the cowled one holding, or having the fists, so we can show off the fists. We've got that waist. That waist articulation is really nice. That upper body, that lower body twist and everything. Like, he is able to really, like, you can get him to do some ab crunches here. Like, he's moving real nicely. As far as the legs go, we've got that kind of ratchety kind of click. Our lighting is not working with us today. But you can see it's got those little ratchets in there and everything. So you're not missing out. Double on the knee. We have got twist right there. Oh my God, it's its own separate piece too. That is awesome. So this entire ankle piece is its own little joint. You can rotate the foot around it. You can twist it, do whatever you want and fancy. Of course, we've got the toes too. I don't know why we keep losing focus here. We're going to try covering up this Batmobile, because I feel like it's trying to focus in on other things. Toe. Articulation. I am here for it with this guy. He is good. He is solid. He is awesome. One thing I didn't mention, if you are a collector for the cards, this one, Unmasked, has got him standing in that pose. And then this one, Masked, the standard version, has him in that flight pose. So, and of course, we do got stands. That seems to be pretty standard now with the McFarlanes, which is awesome. You can never have too many stands. Now, moving on to the Batman with the cowl. See, now they're both the Batman. The cowl looks really good. It has that great motion and range. I feel like his neck is done a lot better. This is the only thing that I really don't like. That super downward. He looks great, menacing. Gap on the back. Gap on the back. But you don't really want him staring that far down, honestly. But we can get him to stare all the way up without, yeah, all the way up. Looking straight up at the sky, no gap. All the way to the side as much as we can get. It's stopping right before that gap. Same with this side. It's only that downward and back of the neck, you get that little minor gap. No biggie. Looks really great. And you know, of course, with them being those pegs, you can kind of get him to kind of move his neck forward, backwards, sideways, a teeny bit. Not a lot of motion there with the way that he's set up, but you still get that. He's got the same thing going on with his arms here. All in all, everything about him is exactly the same outside of just this area here. He's got the rest of the cowl built. The necks are like painted differently and everything. And then this little like necklacey part for the emblem. I think he has that underneath here. I can't exactly tell unless I rip that cowl off, which I'm not going to do. Defeats the purpose of waiting all this time for the damn back-ordered thing. But amazing. Just amazing. We're going to go ahead and drop them into that Batmobile, and this is going to be a longer video just for the fact that I am going to show you how to get them in here, and we're going to figure it out together. Pop that. Whichever way you want to go. We're going to start with Unmasked, and Todd McFarlane wouldn't put them in there in his own video, which made me worry that they're going to be a little bit of a bitch to get in here. But I'm going to wrap the cape around him like so, and kind of just, I don't see that it should be that big of a deal to get him in, but we are finding out right now. Haha, got him. Fix that cape. Get him on here. And that looks amazing. Wasn't that hard to get him in there. And he looks great. And we can close that top. Can't really see inside there, especially on the video. And don't worry, it's not just the video. Can't really see him inside there with the shade on there. So, and his hands definitely will grip that wheel and everything. Pretty gnarly. I like this guy a lot. Yes. So, not terribly hard to get him in there. It's just a bit of wiggle. Let's do the same with Cowled Batman, just so we can see them both in there. And again, I'm just going to twist that cape around him. Kind of put his legs out a little bit. And you kind of just got to give him a little wiggle. And then straighten him out. Ain't too bad at all. Oh, those ears feel a little tall on there. I am cutting those ears. That is not good. That is not what we wanted. Can we get you down in there a little bit more? Don't tell me, because I will be extremely upset, because why have a Batmobile if you can't even get Batman himself in there? Oh man, those ears are your problem. Oh, you can make this work. Okay, you can make this work. Like, I've got it to where it's bypassing it. Okay, but you can see where this, let's see if we can, it's literally right there above the lip. You can see how they go right above that lip, but this will slide right over top of them. I still don't like that though. I feel like this should have been just a smidge higher. Honestly, like, that is extremely disappointing. The more about this Batmobile, more disappointment. I mean, but we're not here for the Batmobile. We're not here. We're here strictly for our Batmans. So, only thing left to do is check out these accessories. They come with exactly the same thing. So we have now got 2 of these silver plastic cast batarangs. Extremely flimsy here, as you can tell. And we have got 2 of the grapple guns. Now these are not high detail by any means, and they are both soft molds. And on the back side, it's even worse. It's more flattened down than on the front side. I feel like McFarlane could step it up with their accessories and start doing some more. But there you guys have them. We've got our Batmobile. We've got our Keatons. We just got to get into that Flash movie now and check out Keaton's return. All in all, I like both of these figures. I like the Batmobile. It's just, well, you've seen everything with me. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you later. Sorry again for the super long video.